Okay, in light of recent events, I thought I would start off by doing a reaction video to David Bowie when he was criticizing MTV for not playing videos by black artists. This is from, I think, a couple of years ago, but especially given the sort of recent events, I think it's a relevant video, and my girlfriend Naomi had actually suggested this. So without further ado, let's get right into this reaction video.
I'd like to ask you something. All right. It occurred to me, having watched MTV over the last few months, that it's a solid enterprise, and it's got a lot going for it. I'm just floored by the fact that there's so few black artists featured on it. Why is that?
I think that we're trying to move
It's a good
in
point.
that direction. We want to play artists that seem to be doing music that fits into what we want to play for MTV. The company is thinking in terms of
That we want to play. That's the key word.
narrow casting.
That's evident. It's evident in the fact that the only few black artists that one does see are on about 2:30 in the morning or to around 6. Very few are featured predominantly during the day.
No, that's a...
I'll say that over the last couple of weeks these things have been changing, but it's a slow process.
I know, it's funny, I think people have different perceptions. When you wind up watching, let's say you watch an hour or 2 or even 3 a day, people somehow come away with different ideas about what we are doing. We don't have any kind of day parting for anything, let alone a black artist day parted out of what would be, quote, prime time. We don't have that.
Because one sees a lot there's one black station on television that I keep picking up. I'm not sure which station it's on, but there seem to be a lot of black artists making very good videos that I'm surprised aren't used on MTV.
Well, of course, also we have to try and do what we think not only New York and Los Angeles will appreciate, but also Poughkeepsie or Midwest. Pick some town in the Midwest that will be scared to death by Prince, which we're playing, or a string of other black faces.
Oh my gosh.
Very
music.
interesting. Isn't that interesting?
You know, we have to play the music that we think an entire country is going to like. And so we're a rock and roll station now. The question would be asked, well, since we're New York, should PLJ play, the Isley Brothers? Well, you and I might say, yeah, because we have grown up in an era when the Isley Brothers mean something to me, and so do the Spinners, even way after the Isley Brothers.
See, what I'm really hearing here is the MTV official. He's very much doing what was really called out during the BLM protests earlier this year. He's just really trying to dodge around the point in that what David Bowie's basically saying is, yeah, it's true. It's I mean, I remember for especially with radio, those early morning hours is typically when they have like the interns or stuff like that, running the station. Same thing with MTV, like, they're deliberately suppressing. So very, very good.
But what does it mean to a 17-year-old?
Very prescient.
If you talk on the phones to these guys like I did when I was in radio, it's
Well,
scary.
I'll tell you what it means.
Oh my
I'll tell
gosh.
you what maybe the Isley Brothers or Marvin Gaye means to a black 17-year-old. And surely he's
A good singer.
No question, no question. And that's why you're seeing those things.
Do you not
on
find that
TV.
it's a frightening predicament to be in?
Yeah, but less so here than in radio.
And is it not, well, no, don't say, well, it's not me, it's them. Is it,
No,
is,
well,
it,
that's
not,
why
is it not possible that it should be a conviction of the station and of other radio stations, to be fair? It does seem to be rampant through American media. Should it not be a challenge to try and make the media far more integrated in music,
happening.
especially of anything in musical terms?
Absolutely, I think it's happening because white music and white musicians are now starting to play more than ever, more than they have lately.
white music and white musicians are starting to play more than ever, like more than they have lately. That is, I think that is one of the like it. I mean that's true, and that's exactly what David Bowie's calling out, and it's very prescient of David Bowie, kind of looking forward and seeing injustice essentially, and that injustice is really it really I don't know, it's just kind of painful seeing
Yeah.
what black artists have been into, and now
but a good painful
hopefully the lines
for
are
this to get
starting
confronted.
to blur. And when we play a band like ABC,
Yeah.
well, there's white and black kids who are enjoying it, and all of a sudden, well, it's a little bit easier for a white kid to understand it. The fact is, quite frankly, I could even point you towards a letter in the new issue of The Record,
Yeah.
that magazine, The Record, responding to an article by Dave Marsh, that this kid just ranted about what he didn't want to see on MTV.
Well, that's
And
his
in no
problem.
uncertain terms, well, what I'm saying though is that there's, as you say, there's certainly a lot of black kids and white kids who may want to see black music. There's a ton of them who are, it's not like it was in '67 where you say,
Okay, so like there's a lot of kids who want to see black music when this guy had just been saying we're seeing more and more of white or so-called white music, which is essentially all that had been seen, and like going beyond MTV back 1700s, 1800s, etc. That's all we have been seeing, and then the MTV guys like, hey, but we're getting more and more, we're getting more and more white music, even though like later in the interview he's saying like, well, people want to see black music, but
I'm not into that, but you are, you. Now it's, you're into that, I don't like you. And that's scary, and we can't just turn around and go, well, look, this is the right way. We can only
oh boy, that looks like a meme, or where the memes.
Okay, thank you very much.
Does that make sense? Valid point?
I understand your point of view.
Yeah. Well, anyways, it's definitely painful, in a good way, because it's important for so I guess it's from 1983, but it's important for us to confront issues of racism, like just straight out. We need to confront it so that we can move forward, and it had to have taken like a ton of courage for David Bowie to call it out like this. I mean, even though it was already 1983, at the same time, you have to think that like David Bowie was like, kind of just like really kind of trying to steel himself. And this is more like something you would imagine seeing, uh, like like this is something from like 2000, like at the start of the video I was like, oh, I'm sure this is from 2016, because it just sounded so relevant to like the way things are in like all of the entertainment industry today. And it's just kind of, I guess you could say, like a little unnerving that I would I would say, oh yeah, that's totally reasonable. That you know, um, but especially in light of BLM protests, I think this is a very relevant video. And it really does emphasize the wrong that is currently rampant throughout the entertainment industry. Anyways, thanks for watching this reaction video here. Very, very interesting and saddening, but there's a lot that can be done moving forward to help, remove racism and all other types of discrimination from the entertainment industry. Please do share your comments in the comment section, like this video, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I will see everyone in my next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.